Good morning, or afternoon, whenever you might be watching this. Um, you only have to watch this video if you were absent for the Teams meeting. If you were in class, then you don't need to be worrying about watching this unless you're wanting it for review, because we went over this together in class already. So today we're going to officially start American History 1 and get a move on. We are going to be talking about different Native American groups and their different regions, and that's going to be our focus today because American history really started before Europeans landed, considering the fact that there were already people that were living in what we would now call North America. So for Unit 1, Lesson 1, every single unit and lesson is going to be labeled like this to make it easy for you to find. So we're in Unit 1, Lesson 1. Our goal today is to go through a very, very quick set of little notes just for a little bit of background on Native Americans. I'm going to talk to you about your interactive notebook for this unit. And then we're going to talk about today's task and the assignment for today. So we're going to start off by going through these quick notes. There's just some things that I want you to be aware of. Today, when we're learning about the different regions, keep in mind we are learning about regions and not individual tribes. So there might be, 10, 15, 100 different tribes within the Southeast. But the thing is that people that were living in this region had a lot of similarities and stuff. So there would definitely be differences from tribe to tribe, but a lot of similarities. So we're focusing just on different regions. So we're looking at the Southeast, the Great Plains, for example, the Southwest, the Northwest. So we're looking at different areas of where Native Americans were living so that we can learn about what their life was like. Researchers, historians, have come to the conclusion that Native Americans came to the Americas somewhere between 14,000 and 17,000 years ago by crossing over from a land bridge between Siberia and Alaska. So I can't really show you too much here. Alaska on the map, of course, is always going to be down in the corner, but we know that Alaska is really way up here, right? And connected to Canada. So there was a land bridge where they came and walked over. And so we know that that happened thousands upon thousands of years ago. The discovery of the Americas, and I put discovery in quotations because really it wasn't a discovery of the Americas, considering there were already people here. But what people refer to as the discovery or Europeans coming to what is now North America began to be recorded in the late 1400s. So that's when the exploration really begins. And we'll talk more about that exploration tomorrow. It is just really, really important that we don't forget the indigenous people and the Native Americans that were already here. They were thriving. They were doing great before the Europeans showed up. So those are just some things that I wanted you to be aware of to set the stage for your assignment today. Before we get into talking about your assignment, let me talk to you about your interactive notebook. So you are going to have for each unit a required interactive notebook. Now you'll notice on here, let me move myself out of the way, that it says that it is part required and part optional. This should say optional. I'll get that fixed later. So part required and part optional, meaning that there is some of it that you have to do, and I'll talk to you more about that in a minute. And then there's some of it that is completely optional that will give you extra credit if you get it done. So what does it give you? It gives you a quiz grade for each unit. Your quizzes count 30% of your grade. So these interactive notebooks count 30% of your grade. You have got to make sure that you get them done and you submit them. It gives you extra credit if you complete the review questions. If you do the review questions within the interactive notebook, and when you submit the interactive notebook, I see them answered there and answered correctly, then you get a 10% extra credit boost on your test. So, which means that if you make a 75 on your test, 10% of that would be 7 points. So I will add 7 points to your grade, and that 75 will now turn into an 82. Right? So this is going to be something that is very, very helpful for you and not difficult to do, especially if you just do a little bit a day. It is also your one-stop shop for review for the unit. It's a good place for you to go back and look at the information. Your tests are going to be open note tests. So therefore, you have the ability to open up this interactive notebook and use it to help you answer those questions. It is always going to be due the day of your unit test. So whenever your test is, that is going to be when your interactive notebook is due, and it needs to be submitted preferably before you take the test. I'm going to talk to you more about that in just a second. The other tasks that you have to do today, other than going ahead and setting up your interactive notebook, is a Native American groups activity. This is going to be found on Canvas. So I'm going to actually leave from here now so that I can show you where these things are going to be. So let me exit out of our Google presentation. And I'm going to go to today's lesson. So we're on Unit 1, Lesson 1, so U1L1 on Native Americans. There's always going to be a picture at the top. This right here will always tell you what we're doing. The SWABOT stands for student will be able to. So today students will be able to identify different tribes of North Americans in order to understand the similarities and differences amongst varying North American groups. So this video that you're watching right now is linked here. Obviously, I'm filming it right now, so it's not linked yet, but it will be by the time you clicked on it. The notes that I just went over are right here. So if you click on that, it will take you to this Google Slides presentation. And then you'll see that you've got your 2 tasks that you need to complete today. If you have any questions, then you've got the ability to ask me in the Teams meeting if it's still going on, email or message me, or ask a friend in class and be like, hey, what did you do for this? Let's first talk about your interactive notebook real quick. I know it says task number 2, but I want to go ahead and talk about that first. So all I want you to do is to create a copy of it for today, because you don't have any required pages today to fill out. So if you click on it, it'll take you to the directions telling you again, part required, part optional. I'm going to click on the interactive notebook. It's going to prompt me to make a copy of it, which I'm going to do. So it is then going to take me to our exploration and colonization interactive notebook. And now this is your copy of it. You're going to want to rename it so that you can easily find it in your Google Drive. You've got directions here that give you a little bit more information on what to do. And then you're going to see your different topics. So today's topic is Native Americans. And these are the study questions for that. So these are going to be optional questions for you to answer. And this is part of that study guide portion for you to get that 10% extra credit. The ones that are required, so tomorrow we're going to talk about exploration, and you'll see notes that are put in here. This is going to be the one that is required. So what you're going to do is tomorrow when I'm going through and talking about the notes, you're going to fill in the information in the appropriate places here. So that's what your goal is going to be. And you're going to tell me all about these different things as we're talking about them. And then you'll submit this whenever it is the day of the test. So let's go pop back here real quick to talk about your assignment for today. So your assignment today is pretty easy. It's all self-explanatory. To complete the assignment, you're going to research about these different 4 groups, and you're going to look at things about like their different food that they would eat, their clothing they would have, how the shelter was different, what different technologies they would use. So you're going to have to give me facts about each group, and then at least 2 similarities and 2 differences. So what I'm going to do is click on the worksheet. It's going to ask me again to make a copy of this worksheet. And you can see I've already got bullet points here for you. So you have to give me at least 4 in order to get 100, but obviously you can give me more than that if you would want. And as you're reading about the tribes that live in the Northwest region, you'll go and type in and tell me something that you learned about them. And then at the end, you're going to tell me what are some of the similarities you saw maybe amongst all of them, and what are some of the differences that you saw. And then you submit this on Canvas. So to get the information, you'll just click on these different links and it's going to take you to Google Docs that give you all the information. So do not go onto Google and do anything like that. I've already given you the information. It's so easy to be able to go through. And then you'll submit it here. It will have like a submit button up in the corner for you to be able to click on, and you'll submit that Google Doc that you filled out here as your grade. That is your goal for today. If you have any questions, you just need to reach out to me and let me know. So again, just go ahead and make a copy of your interactive notebook so it's ready for tomorrow. And then do task number 1 and let me know if you need anything. If you were in class, again, you didn't have to watch this video, but it is good review, I suppose. And if not, I will see you later. Bye, y'all.